Welcome back, Austin P alumni, friends, and supporters to another edition of our Govs League Conversations. Nikki Luce Peterson here, and today we are talking with Austin P Athletics Director Gerald Harrison. And Gerald, I want to thank you for joining us today, as I know the topic of Governor Athletics, it's definitely a prevalent one at this time. I know there are many supporters that are eager to see athletics get back up and running. They want to know what's going on in the current state of Austin P Athletics and what the future holds. So thank you for joining us here today. And really quickly before we get started, I want to know how your family and Lisa and the girls are doing right now.
Everybody's doing well. Nikki, thank you for having me, giving me the opportunity to spend some time with you. But the family's doing well, and I hope yours is doing well also.
Yeah, we're doing good. We're hanging in there. Everybody's safe and healthy right now. It's been a little over a month since we've been dealing with this COVID-19 pandemic. So I want you to start off and talk a little bit about what your department and you have been doing to stay connected to our student athletes and Governor supporters as well during this time.
Well, during this time, the most difficult part is to instill positivity. And that's been one of our main focuses when we deal with our student athletes and our supporters and our staff. So we've used many different methods, but the number one method has been something people forgot about. We call it the telephone. And, we got on the telephone and talked to our student athletes when we can to check in. We've made calls to our season ticket holders and Monica Society members. We are very fortunate to have this system we call Teamwork, which has been great for us as well. So we've been able to do live check-ins. Our student athletes communicate with them via text messages, emails, voicemail. So they're probably hearing from us as much as possible during this pandemic.
Now, I know your staff has actually been really hard at work during this time as well. Sports information has definitely been doing a lot. Talk a little bit about some of the things that your staff, like sports information, are doing via social media and areas like that.
Our external team has really taken this opportunity to put together a lot of creative things to put out via social media and some of the other things like the crossword puzzles on Sundays, which have been extremely popular, video tribute. We've done the history of the top 10 football players in baseball, and we're going to go through all of the sports. So those things that kind of just keep Austin P Athletics at the forefront of people's minds, and that they can think about the great times and the great things that we're going to get back to here really soon, hopefully. And so they have been great. I've been really excited about what they've all done from a video standpoint, graphic standpoint. Sports information has been remarkable putting those crossword puzzles together, and we got a much more coming over the next few weeks.
Now, I know you're bringing up the topic of fall sports. It's supposed to be just around the corner. So talk about, are there any delays that you know of so far with the start of our fall sports?
Yeah, right. At this point, we don't know of any delays. We're planning to go forward as usual at this point for our fall, and we'll see where it goes. Obviously, the safety of our student athletes and the fans are paramount. And so we're not going to rush anything. We are under great leadership with President White, and Governor Lee has been giving great advice as well. So we'll follow their lead. But at this point, and from the conversation I've had with the NCAA, nobody knows. But we're planning that we're going to load up the Governor Athletic facilities as soon as we possibly can in the fall.
Now, you've got some promotions that are going on right now, or you did with upcoming football. So talk about, how is the season ticket holders, how have they been? Have they taken advantage of the early bird ticket prices for football?
Absolutely. We had great success early on with our early bird season ticket prices, and we also put a family plan in. And so things like that were going really well and still are. I think what we've done is given ourselves an opportunity to get on the phone and talk to the ones who haven't renewed. But at this point, we're around 80% in our renewals. So we're really excited about that. And Katie Locke and Johnny Mitchell are working really hard to get in contact with those who have not renewed at this point. But the great news is, Nikki, that we have a waiting list for football right now in a lot of areas, and especially in our premium areas and our reserve seat areas. And so we want everybody to fill Forterra Stadium. We're still pounding the pavement to get that done.
Yeah, and I think everyone's going to be really excited when things get back up and running. They're going to want to get out of the house, and what a better place to go to than Forterra Stadium to catch a little football action.
Absolutely.
Let's switch subject to the NCAA right now and eligibility issues. So do you have an idea on how many senior athletes may take advantage of the NCAA offer of another year of eligibility?
Our coaches and our administrators are gathering that number right now. We'll have some that'll do it, that would like to come back for an additional year of eligibility. But to be honest with you, a lot of those seniors have, luckily, thanks to career services and other activities, have gotten jobs in line, so they're ready to move on to the next phase of their lives. But the ones that want to come back, our coaches are working to find a way to bring bring them back and the opportunities to bring them back. And it'll vary between sports. We had a couple student athletes who are getting married, who are ready to move on in their life. And we have some that, hey, they want to come back and give it one more run for a championship. So we're a little bit all over the place. I'm trying to put together a plan right now to help those who want to come back and try to figure out a way to do that. And those other ones, we're going to wish them well and ask them that they come back and join the Alumni Association and the Monaco Society to give back to Austin Peay Athletics.
So a little more along those lines, Gerald, tell us your thoughts on the anticipated ruling which allows student athletes to transfer and become eligible immediately.
Challenging rule, I'll be honest with you. I understand, the old saying is, well, if a coach wants to leave, a coach can pick up and leave at any time. And so the student athlete should have that opportunity as well. I'm personally not a big fan of the immediate transfer rule and being immediately eligible. I think anytime you make a decision like that in life, there is always some form of consequence to it. But it'll be a very interesting one. It probably will pass. And when it does, and we'll have to be prepared. And, when you get great student athletes, sometimes some fall through the crack at the higher levels, and you get great players, and this will give some of the other schools opportunity to pluck them from us, but it'll give us some opportunities as well. So we'll all have to figure out how to manage in free agency a little bit. But, I'm always for the student athlete experience, and this is the way that the SAC group feels that they want to go, and this is the way that the NCAA feels we need to, and then we'll adjust.
So switching over to the basketball tournament right now that, of course, was canceled this season. Now, based on the fact that the NCAA basketball tournament was not played, what type of an impact is that going to have on your athletic budget?
Oh, it'll have a substantial impact and provide some challenges to us ending this fiscal year and into the next fiscal year. The NCAA provides, people think about the basketball tournament as just a basketball tournament, but that funds a large part of the NCAA, and that's where they get a large amount of their revenues from. So when there's no tournament, that affects things like the Student Opportunity Fund, Needy Assistance Fund, some academic funds, some grants, all that stuff comes in danger, and we're going to get a substantial reduction for the amount of money that we get from the NCAA. However, I call those challenges, and when you get a challenge, we'll have some opportunities through that. It's going to hurt us. We just got to be very creative in the way that we go forward in the short term.
I know a lot of the larger conferences are still going to get money coming in later with any TV money that may be available, but it does hit hard to smaller conferences like the Ohio Valley Conference. So we give it up to you and your staff for making things work and being positive during this time. Switching it over to alumni and supporters. I know that in the past month, they have really impacted you all in your program through donations, through service. So talk a little bit about what that has meant to you in your program.
Well, I'll tell you, I have never been disappointed in Stashville and in our fan base and our alumni and our supporters. When it's time, they rally to the call. And, we have this virus and this situation has put us in some challenging situations where our student athletes needed the help of others. And our athletics department needed the help of others. And those individuals have come out and supported us in ways that I didn't see. I didn't know that it would happen at this point in time because everybody's struggling. Everybody's hit. But our people did not turn their back on us when we needed them. And I applaud them and thank them and look forward to celebrating them in some ways once we get the doors back open on campus. It's been an awesome response. And I thank those in advancement and alumni affairs who have worked to get that done. And I encourage folks to continue to give because we do continue to have student athletes that are going through some pretty tough times right now.
I think Austin Peay is a special place with a tight-knit community, and we're lucky to have our alumni and supporters, just like you said. Gerald, are there any final comments or thoughts that you have to our Austin Peay alumni, supporters, students?
Well, the first thing is to say thank you. I think you start off with that, and I hope that everyone is out there as well, and their families are well. But one thing I want to remind everybody is the importance of staying positive. I've talked to our staff about that. I've talked to our student athletes about that. We're challenged. Things are happening that we've never seen before in our lifetime. But one thing, we're resilient people, and we know how to overcome and how to fight through these tough times. And that's what we need right now. We need everyone to look at not whether you'll get back to playing or not, or whether we're open the door or not, or what mask or who we can touch or not touch. That's not what we should focus on as much as, hey, when we fight ourselves, we do what we're supposed to do in this short period of time, stay 6 feet apart, do all these things. Once we do what we're supposed to do and come through it, man, we're going to really have some exciting times, whether it's on campus or with alumni groups, and whether it's at pep rallies and tailgates. The good is coming. The championships are coming. The same love and excitement that you had when we hosted that trophy in football and in women's track this year, we're going to do it again very soon. We just got to see ourselves through this. So my thing is to stay positive. And Nikki, as you know, I always say, see you red.
Gerald, I know Governor supporters are eager to get back into Forterra Stadium, back into the Dunn Center and on the playing field as fans and supporters. But we want to thank you for your leadership, for your staff and your department's leadership. You guys have Austin Peay definitely going in a positive direction. We're excited about it. Thank you for joining us. We ask our alumni, friends, and supporters to join us here every Thursday for our Govs League conversations. Next Thursday, we have a special guest, U.S. Congressman Phil Rowe, an Austin Peay alumnus. He will be joining us for our next interview. So thank you to everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, and let's go Peay.